Okay guys, so I'm going to show you now how to create shadow letters out of block letters. So I have two words written here. I have art and fun. Art, I have already turned into block letters, and I did that by wrapping up my letter like I showed you in the previous video. If you haven't seen it yet, you can go back and watch the video on how to make block or bubble letters. So you wrap it up, trying to stay the same distance away from your letter the whole time to make it even, but it doesn't have to be. Sometimes on purpose I'll make them different thicknesses because it looks kind of fun like graffiti art. So you wrap them up. Do it definitely first in pencil so you can fix any mistakes you make. And then you erase the skeleton, is what I call it, the base letter, because you don't need it anymore. Okay, so that is step one, is to create your block and bubble letters. You can do this with block or bubble. Block is definitely easier because it's a lot easier to decide what side of the letter you're on because it's a harsh change. Change is very easy to see when you're changing direction, whereas a curve happens slowly and it's hard to decide when to stop. But we'll see that in a minute. Then what you want to do is show yourself where the light is. So I always draw a little sun for that. So I know for these shadows, my left is on the top left of the letters. And then that means all my shadows are going to be on the bottom. And write this down if you think it'll help. Your shadows are going to be on the bottom and the right side of each letter. Okay, it's pretty simple. However, you got to think of the letter as made of a bunch of pieces. So each piece of the letter you have to look at one at a time. So the sunshine is shining down and it's hitting these letters. Anywhere it's going to hit, the top and the left sides we leave alone. Then you go to the opposite. So if I'm looking at this piece right here of my A, the top and left I leave alone. I'm going to go to the other side. This is the right side of this piece. And this is the right side of this piece. And the bottom is an easy thing to find. It's the bottom. Okay. Now I'm going to go to this piece of my A. So this is the left side of this whole piece. This is the top of this piece. And here's a bottom. Okay, so I'm leaving that alone because it's the left side of this piece. So is this. It's the left side of this whole piece. But the bottom, easy to find. And here's the right side. And this one is also easy to figure out because it's the right side of my whole letter. So if it's the right side of the whole letter, then you're definitely going to cover it in. And then if that helps you, if you're getting confused about the pieces, if I'm doing this, then I'm not going to do the other side. So we're only doing one side for the vertical, the up and down pieces, and then one for the left and right, the horizontal pieces. So there is my A. When you're coloring in your shadows, make them nice and dark and nice and thick, especially if you're a beginner, to make sure you can really see that you put them in there. There's my A. Now I'm looking at my R, and remember we're looking at pieces. So here is this first leg. Okay, think about it. If you were building an R out of like pipe cleaners, you would need those pieces like that. Okay, so for this piece, there's my left. I'm going to skip it. Here's a bit of the right side of that letter. Here's the right side and the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to skip all the way over. Here's the whole right side of my letter. And it continues here. Here's the right side of my letter. And bottom. There's lots of ways to think about it. You can look for the right and bottoms first. You can do it piece by piece. You just want to kind of double check when you're done to make sure you didn't do like, I can't do this whole leg. I can't have a shadow on the whole side. So I got to make sure you leave the side empty. And that side is going to be what's closest to the sun. Okay, there's my T. So that's a left. That's a top. Here's a right. Here's a bottom. This is also a right. Here's a bottom. And then I'm looking around and I have all this empty. So I know I'm missing something because I can't have all these sides empty. That's a top, that's a left, here's a bottom. Okay, because if there's a shadow, if there's a light over here, there's got to be a shadow somewhere. So you got to find the spot to put it. So there's my art. Oh, I missed his spot. Always double check, because look, I saw this. Those are both empty. And I don't want to leave them both empty. So my pencil just lost its lead. So I'm going to switch to my Sharpie. So this is the bottom right here. Here's the bottom of that piece. So I guess while I'm at it, the shadows, you also want to maybe practice making those all the same thickness also, but it's really not that big of a deal, especially if you're beginning. Okay. Now I'll also do the word fun. That way you can just see a couple other letters if it's got a lot of sides. And if you need to draw another sun, you can. Now your sun could be somewhere, you could do something different where you could have your light be way down here and your shadows are on the opposite side. That works too, as long as you're always making sure you're picking the same sides and it matches all the way through. All right, so that's a left side, that's a top side. Here's a right side. This right here is a bottom. Okay, that one I skipped. This is definitely a right side. It's the right side of my whole letter. This is a top piece right here, so I'm going to skip. There's a right side. Here's a bottom piece. Remember, it doesn't have to be bottom of the whole letter. It can just be the bottom of this piece. Here's a right side. And here's a bottom. There's my letter F. All right, my U. So I'm going to start with this piece. Here's my right side of this piece. I'm going to go all the way down. And this kind of curves, so it's kind of hard to tell, but this right here is the top of this kind of flat edge. So I'm going to stop. Only the straight part I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to skip. That's a left side. That's a top. And this right side goes all the way through and connects to the bottom. And since I can do right and bottom, this can kind of go all the way across. And then I stop. As soon as it starts to get towards that left side, I'm going to stop, because the left side does not have a shadow. And usually these two kind of line up. All right, now my N. Left side I'm going to skip, top I'm going to skip. Here is a right side, so I can put it here. Okay, this is a left side of this piece. Here's a top, here's a right side. Bottoms are easy, because that's the bottom. Okay, now this one, it kind of feels like a bottom. This is where some letters get tricky. This seems like a bottom, but if I'm looking at this whole piece, I already gave my shadow here, so I'm not going to put it here, because it's sort of facing the left. So I'm going to skip that one. This is the right side of this whole piece. Again, think of the letters as pieces. Okay? And that helps you know. Okay, and there's my N. Now, I have my two words. You can leave it just like that. You could outline the whole thing and just have your shadow sides thicker. You could do it that way. So maybe I'll still outline this, and you can see how it looks both ways. So this one has a thin marker outline on the whole word, but the thicker shadows on my shadow sides. Okay? If you can't see your shadows, just make them a little thicker. And they can really be as big as you want them to be. There is another way to do this, and that's by making like the 3D block letters. So I'll give you an example. Oh, that's terrible. But that takes a little more time and practice. And I'll maybe show you that in another video. But that way you can make letters look three-dimensional that way. Now for this one, instead of outlining the whole order, I'll just have my letters be made of only the shadows. So if you wanted, once you have your shadows in, you can erase the rest of the letter. And you can still see it and read it. It's kind of like an optical illusion, because your eyes can read the letters even though they're not really there. So that's something fun to practice. So give this a try. Practice. Definitely know you're going to make some mistakes. You're going to miss pieces. Even me, sometimes I do these all the time, and I'll still kind of miss a spot every now and then. But try it with your own name or try it with a word. And if you're having trouble, you can always reach out and let me know, and I can take a look at it and help you through it. Good luck.